and I'll be the one taking you for today's class. So today we're going to be introducing you all to the Google Workspace, the Google Online Space, and then we'll focus on two of the applications, which is Google Drive and then Google Forms. So the Google Online Space is free for everyone to use. As far as you have your Gmail and your password, you can use any of the apps they have available. You have Google Drive, you have Google Forms, you have Google Meet, which we are currently using. We have Google Docs, Google Slides, which we'll also look at. But for today, we'll be looking at Google Drive and Google Forms. So if you are with your laptop and then if you're with your pen and paper, so you can jot, or your notepad, you can jot as I proceed. Okay, so the first thing we're going to be looking at today is Google Google Slides. Sorry, Google Drive, and then after we finish with Google Drive, we'll move on to Google Forms. So I'm going to be sharing my screen now so that we'll start the class officially. So I'm sharing my screen now. So please confirm that you can see my screen. Just say yes on the chat box.
Yes,
Okay.
can see your screen.
Okay, so we are starting officially now. So, like I said, we'll be looking at Google Drive first, then we'll move on to Google Forms. So, starting off with Google Drive, we'll take on an introduction. I will explain a few things, then we'll do some hands-on. So, make sure you are, if you are with your laptop there, please switch it on, put on your internet connection, go to your browser. So first of all, we'll start with the definition. What is Google Drive? So Google Drive is a cloud-based storage service that enables users to store and access files online. What that simply means is that take for example your phones, your tablets, your laptops, and any device you have. When you take pictures, you transfer music, you do videos, you create a document or what have you, they are stored on that device, right? That is a local storage based on is only on that device. So for example, if you are with your sister's phone or maybe your friend's phone, the things that are stored on your phone will not be on that person's phone, okay? Because they are two different storage devices. But for Google Drive is online such that you will be storing the files on what they call their servers. So basically they are like giant computers, okay, that are online and they are located in different places. So they store your files such that you can access it anywhere. So basically you are storing your files, but this time around you're not storing it locally on your devices. You are storing it on Google's cloud or Google server. Okay. So that's basically the definition of Google Drive. Okay, so next you ask, okay, why should we use Google Drive, right? Like I said, we have the local storage cloud storage devices like your phone and all that. So why Google Drive? So the reasons you use Google Drive, I listed out four here. The first one is backup. So like I said, your files will be stored on the Google Cloud, okay? So it means that you're not going to lose anything. Just like when you have it on your phone or on your laptop, and let's say something happens to that particular device or that particular laptop or whatever, you misplace it or it gets spoiled and then you lose everything. I think a number of us have been in that position. I know I've been in that position. I've misplaced my phone and then I lost all the files, the pictures and everything, and I felt bad. But anything that you store on the Google Drive is going to remain there backed up. You don't lose it except the Google server crashes, which is, most likely not going to happen. So your files are backed up, so they are safe. The second one I'm going to point out is the easy access. So if you store your files on Google Drive, you can access them anywhere you are. So take for example, you have to travel to Lagos, or even if you are leaving the country and then you're not going with your phone or your laptop, or you are going to get new devices when you get there, You don't have to worry about, transferring from one device to another. So anywhere you are in the world, just log on with your Gmail and your password, and you can access your files from your bed, your office, whatever location you are. The third one is that you can easily find your files. So Google on a norm, they are a search engine, right? They know how to search very well. So with your files in Google Drive, it's very easy to locate anything. For example, if you are looking for a particular document and you don't know the name you used to save it, you might forget. All you need to just remember is maybe one word or maybe something in the document, and then just go to your search bar, and then you type that particular word. Then every document, every slide, every Google sheet that has that particular word will pop up, and then you can easily find out the one you want. So lastly, which is one of the most significant importance, is that you can share and collaborate with others. So working with individuals before, normally if maybe I want to work on a file with anybody, I would have to email that particular file to the person. Then the person will download it on their device, do what they need to do, and then send it back to me, and then it goes back and forth. But with Google Drive and all the Google apps, Google Sheets, Google Slides, which we'll be looking at in our next classes, you don't have to do that. What happens is that we can both, not just two people, any number of people can both share and work together on a document or a file in real time from wherever they are, and you see the changes and everything. So I think that's awesome. So these are like some of the reasons why you would want to use, or why anybody should use, Google Drive. So moving on now, before we move on to the interface of Google Drive, I just want to confirm if you guys can still hear me and you can still see my screen. So can you guys still hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I can hear you.
Okay, thanks. So let's move on. So the next thing is the interface of Google Drive. So for this, I would have to leave my slide and then move on to my browser so that we can look at it together. So if you are with your laptop there, just go to a new tab on your browser, just like this. Okay, yeah. So before we move on, I would also mention that the Google Drive has a mobile app. It has a mobile app. It has a desktop application, but you can also access it from the web. So for this class, we'll be accessing it from the web, and if we still have some extra time, then maybe I can walk you through the mobile app. But for the purpose of this class, we'll be using the web version. So if you're with your laptop, just log on to your Chrome or whatever browser you are.
I've been trying to reach out.
So I'll
If
just
you
give us
connect,
1 minute
if
to
you
do that.
somebody's not connecting. Abondo. Look who's at the gate. Look who's at the gate, the big motor. Move on. Open the gate.
Please,
Okay,
if
so
I mute your
well,
mic, mute your mic. If I mute your mic, please.
okay, so we are moving on. So to get to Google Drive, there are different ways we can get there. So if you are with your laptop, if the laptop is yours and you are already signed in on your Chrome, you would see this icon. This is my mouse here. You see this waffle icon. Okay, so when you click on this waffle icon, you would be shown all the Google apps available. So you can see Google Sheets, Google Search, Google Maps, YouTube, Google Play, and everything. So the app we're looking for is the Drive app, this triangle symbol. So if you have located it, we'll just click on Drive, and then he'll take us to Google Drive. Alternatively, if you are not using Google Chrome as your browser, maybe you have Microsoft Edge, or for some reason you are not signed in on your Google Chrome, what you have to do, you have to type out the link manually. So what you do, you type out drive.google.com. So that's drive.google.com. So I'll just give us a minute to do that. Okay, so are we there? If you are with me, just type on the chat box, or you can unmute yourself and say I'm with you.
I'm with you.
I'm
Okay,
with
great,
you.
great. So if you don't have a laptop, you can just like
I'm
it
with
was said
you.
yesterday, you can take out your jotting notes and just write out the links, the steps, okay? So the back to the interface of Google Drive. So this is the Google Drive interface. All right. So when you log on to Drive for the first time, this is what you see. I believe some of us will not have anything on our screen. Maybe you'll be seeing drop files or something, but because I've been using my Drive recently, I have a number of files and folders here. So when you log in, so just try and follow my mouse, my cursor. So this is the interface of your Google Drive. This is what it looks like. So here you have like all the files and documents that you either created or was shared with you. So I'm just scrolling down so that you see some of my files. So this, I have some files, then I have folders. So by your left hand side here, where you have the Drive, and then you have new. So this new button, what this new button does is you can create a new folder. A folder is, is like a compartment, or like a drawer where you can put different files and just organize them together, okay? Just like you have folders in your normal computers, normal phones. That's what a folder is. So you can create a new folder. I would recommend creating folders so that you can organize your files, okay? Don't just put your files anyhow. It's more difficult to locate certain files like that. But you can organize things. For example, let's say you work, you can organize work files in a work folder, personal files in another folder. Then maybe if you do something in church, you can also create a folder for your church. Okay, so this button is what we use to create a new folder. We'll do that very soon. But for now, let's just look at the other things. So this next button is for file upload. Basically, to upload a file simply means to transfer it from your device, that's your local device, either your phone or your laptop, to Google Drive. So what it means is like you are taking it offline to online. So it's the opposite of download. So when you are downloading something, I believe we've all downloaded movies or music at a point. So what you did is that you downloaded it from the website server. Okay, you took it from website server to your local device, your phone or your laptop. But in upload, we are going to do the reverse. You are going to take it from your phone or from your laptop, whatever device you are currently logged onto, to the Google Drive server. So that's what it means to upload your file upload. So same thing with folder upload, just that instead of uploading one file, you're going to upload an entire folder. So if there's any folder that is in your phone or your laptop that you feel that you need, and you need all the files in that folder, you just upload everything. So also from here, from Google Drives, you can create a new Google Docs, a new Google Sheet, a new Google Slide, a new Google Forms, and I think there are some more, Google Joins and the rest. So basically, we'll treat all these apps when we are moving forward. So, but you can also create a new one from your Google Drive. So moving on, so this is my drive, which is showing you all your files and everything. So when you click on computers, the computers um part of the drive. So I said that we have the mobile app, we have the desktop app, and then we have the web version, and we are currently using the web version. So for example, I do not have the desktop app, but let's say you want to have the desktop app. So when you download the desktop app, when you click on computers, your files in your desktop will be showing in this particular region. So because I do not have the desktop app, mine is showing it's not showing anything, it's just showing learn more. And to download the desktop app, what you need to do, you go to settings, and then under settings, can you see get drive for desktop?
Yes.
Okay, so great. So that's how you can get. So if you want to, but me, I am okay with the web version, so I will just leave that as it is. So then the next part is the shared with me. Okay, so what happens is, remember I told you that Google is all about collaboration, right? So what happens is that all those files that were shared with you by someone, that means you don't own them, but somebody sent you the link. I don't know. I think a number of us should have come across some links. You see drive.google and then some other things, and then when you click on it, it opens up in like your Google Drive or like your browser. So what happens is that all those files were shared with you. So while they are not stored on your Google Drive, that means they are not taking space on your Google Drive, they will appear here showing that okay, these files were shared with you. It's on the person's drive, but you can also see it on yours because, like I said, it's Google server, so everything is connected. The only difference is that you are not the owner, and so it's not taking space. And then, if the person decides to delete it tomorrow or maybe stop sharing it with you, you will no longer see those files or those folders. So if I scroll down a little, you will see for example, let me just show you. Okay, so you will see that some of these files now were shared with me. So let's see this. This learning content for free AI class was shared with me by the DSN community. This particular PDF file was shared with me by Ace, and then the dates. So basically, if you want to see the files that were shared with you, you go to the shared with me section. So the next one is recent. So here, what it's going to show is the files that you opened recently. Okay. So if you want to easily access a file that you just opened not too long ago, you just move on to recent. Like this meeting notes now, I opened it around 12 p.m. So I can easily come back and access it. So under start, you will find um files or folders that you start by yourself. Basically, when you start something, it's like you favorited it basically. So you want to easily access it. So anything you start, we'll look at how to start a file. It's going to appear here. So spam, just like in your Gmail where you have files that probably are not important, kept in the spam box. You also have files that are in the spam box here. So trash. Trash is any file you delete is going to be here. So what happens is that when you delete a file, it's just like in your laptop where you have a recycle bin. So your Google Drive also has a recycle bin. So when you delete a file, it's not going to just leave your drive immediately. It will be stored in the trash, and then all materials in the trash are deleted forever after 30 days. But if you want to empty it completely, you just click on this empty trash icon, and then they'll be deleted forever. But if you don't do that, they will remain in the trash up until for 30 days. So maybe you decide later that okay, I need this particular file. Um, you can always go back to the trash and recover it. So under storage, you can see um like all the files you have, and the space they are taking. So from the highest to the smallest, so when you click on it, you see all the files and the space that they are taking. So if you want to analyze your storage, maybe you want to find out what's taking so much space, just go to the storage section. So then underneath you see 1.7 gig of 15 gig use. So basically what it means is that every Gmail user is entitled to 15 gig of storage for free. Okay, so like I said earlier, Google Apps gives you access to their apps for free as far as you have your Gmail. So with every Gmail you have, or every Gmail is entitled to 15 gigabytes of storage. So if you want more storage, you can click on get more storage, and I think you would have to pay an amount. So if you click on that, so there is the basic plan, which is 100 gig, 100 gigabytes of storage, which and you pay 200 naira per month. And then the standard one is 200 gig, which you pay 390 naira per month. So if you feel you need more storage and you can pay for it monthly, then you can go ahead. So that's that about the interface of the Google Drive. So let's just move back to our slide and see what's next. So the next thing we're going to do is going to be a hands-on. So I'm going to walk you through on how to upload a file, upload a folder, create a new folder, create a new docs, sheet, slide, and others. So we'll just go back to our browser. Please confirm that you are still with me. Just say I'm with you, or you can type it on the
I'm
chat
with
box.
you. Yeah.
Okay,
I'm,
thank you.
I'm
Thank you
with
very much.
you.
Thank you very much. So the first thing we're going to do, like I said,
I'm with you.
thank you. So the first thing I'm going to do, we're going to create a folder, because I always recommend that you save, organize your things into folders. Don't just drop things anyhow on your Google Drive. But if you don't want to put in a folder, it's also, it's your drive. You can do whichever one you prefer. So to create a new folder, there are two ways. You can either click on new here, or maybe you go to like an empty space on this other side and right click. So it's still going to pop up. No, not here. So okay, so it's still going to give you these options to create new or whatever, but most times I just prefer here. So when I click on new now, since I want to create a folder, I'll click on new folder. So once I click on new folder, that's from after clicking on the new button, the first step is to click on the new button, and then you click on new folder. So you see this tab. So you name, right now the folder is named untitled folder, so we'll rename it. So I'm just going to rename it Elite Analytics Hub Intro to Tech class. So you can name it anything you want. You can give it your name, you can give it my files, you can give it practice. So basically, so once you are done naming the file, you click on create. So you click on create, and then that's all. So the folder will appear here. So this is my own. So because I have other folders, so it just arranged itself alphabetically. So if maybe this is the first time you are creating a folder, I think that should be the only thing you see. So I'm just going to click on the folder now. So when I double click on it, it's going to open. So you can see that the folder is empty, right? So now we've successfully created a folder. The next thing we're going to do, we're going to upload a file. We're going to upload a file inside this folder we created. So what's going to happen? Also, to upload a file, you also click on the new. So when you click on new, the next thing you click on file upload. You click on file upload. So when you do that, it's going to open up your desktop, everything you have on your desktop, or if you are using any device you are using, if you are also using your phone, you open up your phone's devices. So you will locate the particular folder or the particular location where the file is that you want to upload. So I'm just going to look for any picture here to upload. So when you've located the file, If it's a single file, just click on it. You click on the file. But if it's multiple files, you would hold your hand on the control key. So the control key on your it should be on your laptop. If you're using a laptop, is CTRL. I think it's the last button by the left underneath the shift button. So you hold your hand on control and then you click the two files or the multiple files you want. So for example, I want to add this second picture. My hand is on control right now. So I'll click on it. So if you notice, the two of them are highlighted, showing that it's these two files that I'm going to upload. But if it's only one file you want to upload, just click on the file. So depending on what you want. So I'm clicking on two files now. So when you have clicked on the file and you are sure that it's selected, the next thing you click on is open. You click on open. So when you click on open, immediately you see that your files have started uploading. So if you look at this side of my screen, you see uploading two items. So mine has uploaded, two uploads complete, and then they've appeared on my folder. So are you still with me?
Yes, we are
Yeah.
together.
Yes, ma.
Okay, great. So right now this file or these two pictures are on my drive and they're on the folder I just created, which is Elite Analytics Hub Intro to Tech class. So assuming I wanted to just upload directly to my drive without uploading to any folder, what I will just do is I will leave this folder, I will go to my drive, and then I'll just still click on the new and then follow the same pattern, new file upload. So in case I'm doing that for those that don't want to create folders, just go to your drive anywhere on when you're on your drive, just click on the new button and then um click on file upload. So but since we already uploaded on the folder, I'm going back to that folder now so that we can move on to the next. So just the same way we uploaded a file, we can also upload a folder. So let's say I wanted to upload an entire folder. So I will click on folder upload. Sorry, I'll click on new first of all. So when I click on new, it's going to open up my device storage as usual, and then it's going to open up different folders that I have. So all I simply need to do is click on the folder that I want to upload, and then when I'm done, I'll click on upload, and it's going to take everything on that folder and upload it. So for example, now I pick this folder here. So I'll click on this folder that I picked has 5 files. So it's going to take both the folder and all the files with it. So when I click on upload, say this will upload all files from day 2. Only do this if you trust the site. So I'll click on upload. So it's uploading the entire folder for me now, right? Okay, so if you look at my screen, you see the folder. Sorry, it's still uploading. Okay, it's done now. So you see the file that the folder that I just uploaded. So if I open it now by double clicking it, I'm going to see all the files on it. Okay, so are you still with me?
I'm with you. I'm with you.
Okay,
I'm
good.
with
Yes,
you.
ma.
Okay,
Yeah, I'm
so
with you.
that's uploading files, uploading a folder. So the other things you can do, like I said, from your Google Drive, you can create a new document or a new Google Sheet or a new Google Slide. We'll learn about all these ones later, but just say for example, I just wanted to create a new document from my drive. I will still go to the new icon and then I'll click on Google Docs, for example. And so when I click on it, it's going to open up a new document file for me in a separate tab. So if you can see, an empty document is open for me. So but that's just that. So you learn about Google Docs later, but just in case you want to open your Google Docs or your Google Sheets from your drive, all you need to do is click on the new and then click on any one of them that you want. So that's that about uploading files, uploading folders, creating a new folder, and then um creating new documents. So the next thing on our agenda is the sharing and the collaboration, right? So as like I said, one of the importance of Google Drive is that you can share and collaborate with others easily. So when you are sharing your files in Google Drive, you can decide the roles anyone will have. So as much as you are sharing your files, Google also gives strict how you share it to others. So there are three ways that you can share your file. You can share your file to somebody as a viewer, you can share it to somebody as a commenter, or you can share it to somebody as an editor. So to explain these things, let us do it in a practical term. So I'm going to show you how to share on Google Drive now. So back to my drive. Let's say, for example, I want to share this picture with someone. Okay. So when I click on what I'm going to do, let me do that again so you see it. So that particular picture you want to share, whatever it is you want to share, there's these three dots, the ellipse by the side. Okay. So when you click on it, there's a number of things you can do with that file. You can preview means to open it. You can open it with a particular application. Then this is the share which we are going to look at, but before we do that, you can copy the link. This is the link to this particular file. You can add it as a shortcut. You can move it. So let's say you created another folder and you want to move this file to that folder. So you just click on move to, and then you select the folder you want it to move to. You can add it to start. Like I remember when I explained start at the beginning. So this is the way to start your document. So if I start it now, it's going to appear on that start location. You can rename it. You can view the details. You can do what they call manage versions, which you learn later. You can make a copy, and then you can download, which is the reverse of upload. That means you can download it back to your device, or maybe you log in with that Gmail to another device. You can now download it to that particular device. Then you can remove. When you remove, it simply means that you are deleting it or you are moving it to the trash. So when I want to share, when you are sharing a file on Google Drive, Google Docs, what you're actually sharing is the link. So what happens is that when you click on share and you copy the link will be copied to your clipboard. Then you can now post it or share it with whoever you want. And then when that person clicks on the link, the file or whatever we open on their own Google Drive or Google Docs or what have you. But when sharing, there are some things to take note of. So I just clicked on share now. So it's loading. So right now, from what you can see, I am the only one with access to this
Copy.
file. So if you look at it, people with access, you see my name and I am the owner. But if you
You
look downwards,
want to
you see general access. Please, there's somebody
Christopher,
around
please
meeting.
mute.
You
Christopher,
see
please mute your mic.
general
Oh,
access.
sorry.
So right now, you see that it is restricted, okay? So what it means is that right now, even if I copy this link and then I send it to anybody, I don't know if we have time for practicals, would have practicalized it. So if I copy this link and then send it to the group or I send it to anybody, even if they click on it, they will not be able to view it or open this file, okay? Because why? The general access is still restricted. Okay. So let's say I want to share this picture with only one person. If you were here for yesterday's class, I'm sure you would have met my colleague, Mr. Gbenga. So I'm just going to use him as an example since some of us will be familiar with his name. So let's say I want to share this particular picture with Mr. Gbenga and Mr. Benga alone. What I'm going to do, I can decide to make it not restricted, but since it's just one person, what I just need to do is I will add him I will just add his email here. So when I click on this now, so this is Mr. Gbenga's email. Then I will click on send. So I'm going back to that share so that I'll show you what just happened. So what happened now, if you notice, there are now two people's name with people with access, right? So you have my name and then you have Mr. Gbenga's name. So what it means that this link now, that if I copy this link now, it's only Mr. Gbenga with his email, this particular email that he has, that he can use to open this file. Any other person cannot open it. But if I want to make it open, let's say I want to post it generally so that anybody with the link, as far as you have the link, you can view the file. I will go to this general access. I will click on this restricted, this arrow here. So when I click on it, you see anyone with link, right? Anyone with link. So I'll click on that anyone with link, and then if you notice, it's now viewers of this file can see comments and suggestions. So I'll click on done. So what it just simply means, I've made this file such that anybody that has the link, so if I paste this link anywhere now, anybody that has the link can see this particular file or this picture. But that's not all. Like I said, there are 3 ways to share the file. So if you come here now, come back to the general access. On the right hand side, you see what they call viewer, right? So if I click on it, you see the 3 rows that I said you can give them from my slide. So you can either make the person a viewer, a commenter, or an editor. So I'm going to explain these 3 rows very quickly. So if the person is a viewer, it simply means that they can only see the file or document. They cannot edit it. They cannot make any comment on it. They can't just all they can do is just view it. They may decide to download it to their system. That's for them, but they can only view it from your drive. So the next row, which is the commenter, this one is for things like your document files. So Google gives the opportunity for you to make comments on it. For example, I can share my documents with you. Maybe I'm a writer, and I'll share it with you, and I'll be like, what do you think about this poem? So you can make a comment on a particular line and say, okay, change this line, or maybe there's a punctuation error on this particular line. So basically, you are not editing the document, you are just commenting it. So I can give that role to a person. The person will be able to see the document, and the person will be able to comment. The last row is the editor. So the editor basically has the same power you have, just that they don't own the document.
I
Hear
think
me
the
now?
network is bad.
Yes, we can
Yes,
hear
we
you
can
now.
hear
Okay.
you.
So I stopped at editor, right? I said editor is like the highest role you can give someone. Did you hear that?
Yes,
Okay. So the person can
yes,
edit,
ma.
the person can view, the person can comment. So if take for example the document I was talking about, let's say I shared a poem with someone, the person can edit the poem, maybe change one line, put some quotation marks for me, and then I'll see it in real time. But it will make more sense when we start teaching you Google Docs, Google Sheets. But these are just the 3 different definitions. So I'm just going to leave that as viewer. So you can do that to both the general access, and even when you are sharing individually. When you share individually, by default, the person is an editor, but you can also come here and change the person's role. So maybe viewer or comment, or depending on what you want. So all you need to do now is, when you have updated the different assets how you want it to be, you just click on this copy link. So once you click on copy link, so the link is copied to your clipboard, and then anywhere you paste it, on your WhatsApp, your Facebook, or anybody you give that link to, will be able to access the file depending on the permissions you gave them. So that's that about the interface of Google Drive, and sharing and collaborating with Google Drive. So I don't know if we'll take questions from Google Drive now, or we'll wait till after Google Forms before questions. So let me just confirm from the moderator. Sir, are we waiting till the ending of the entire class before we take questions, so we can take questions from Google Drive now?
Yeah, Q&A is at the
Oh,
ending of the section.
okay. So please, if you have any questions, just hold on. At the end of the class, you can ask both questions for Google Drive and Google Forms. So Just hold on, don't worry, we'll answer all your questions, but we want it to be organized so that after the class, all the questions can come in. So that's that about sharing. So that's that about the interface of Google Drive and sharing and collaborating with Google Drive. So now the next thing we are going to look at today is Google Forms. So let me just navigate to my slides. Okay, so we are going to do an introduction to Google Forms. So just like we define Google Drives, we're also going to define Google Forms. So what is Google Forms? So basically, Google Forms is a free online tool that you can use to create forms, survey, quizzes, and you can also collaborate, edit, and share the forms that you've created with other people. So I'm very sure a number of you, or if not all of you, filled a form before being accepted or joining the WhatsApp group for the training. Am I right? So if I'm right, just type yes on the chat box. Okay. Thank you. So that form you filled, right, was created using Google Forms. So you can use Google Form as a businessman, a teacher, a principal, or even just for your personal need, a project student, to create, surveys, questions, quizzes, feedback forms. Okay, and that's what we're going to be teaching you in this particular class. So is like I said earlier, most of the Google tools are free. All you need is just your Gmail. So Google Forms is free. You can use it to create surveys, quizzes, feedback forms. So it's very useful to everybody, as an individual, as a student, as a teacher, as a lecturer, or as an entrepreneur or business owner. So why Google Forms, right? Just the way we said why Google Drive. Number one, you can use it to create surveys and quizzes, just like I said. And then number two is free to use. You don't have to pay anybody or anything. All you need is just internet access, your Gmail, your password, and then your laptop or whatever device you have. Then number three is that it's easy to understand, which we are going to walk you through in this class. So we'll teach you how to create a form, view the response, and So the next one now is navigating the Google Forms interface, which will also take me back to my browser. So if you are with me, just go back to your browser, open a new tab, and like I said before, if you are signed in, you can simply use the waffle icon. So once you click on this waffle icon, you scroll down till you find the Google Forms icon. So this is the Google Forms icon. It looks like, a form. So you click on it. Or alternatively, with your if you are not signed in, you would go to a new tab and just type forms.google.com. So the forms is in plural, FORMS, dot Google is GOOGLE, then .com. So if you type forms.google.com, it's going to take you still to the interface of Google Forms. So I'll just give you all a minute to do that. Please, if you are with me, if you've that's for those with their laptops, even those that are not with their laptop. If you are with me, just say I'm with you, or you can type it in the chat box so that I know you are following.
I'm with you more.
Okay, great.
I'm with you.
Okay, great, great, wonderful. So let's proceed. So if you notice, the different Google apps have similar interface, okay, because they are all under Google. So they make everything look similar, so that it's easy for you to navigate from one to another. So when you do Google Docs, Google Sheets, and Google Slides in the coming classes, you'll see that they will have a slightly similar interface to Google Forms right here. So let's just go through the interface. So if you look here, you see blank, right, where my mouse is. So this is to create a new form, right, which we are going to do shortly. And then you see the next template here. You have what they call a template gallery. So basically these are forms that have already been designed. So maybe in case what you are looking for is here, you just click on that one and maybe customize it to how you like. So there's a form for contact information, there's a form for finding a time, there's a form for RSVP, there's a form for party invites, and there's even some for work. So if you come to the gallery and then you feel like any of the forms that Google have already created for you, you like anyone, you can use it. Then underneath here you see the forms that you've created. These are previous forms that I've created. If you look, you see some forms I've created. So the next is owned by anyone. Under owned by anyone, you can change what is showing. You can change what is showing currently. So right now, the one that is showing for me is all the forms, both the ones that were shared with me. Remember, I told you you can share with all the Google apps. So right now, the ones that are showing are the ones that I own and the ones that were shared with me. So if I click on owned by me, the form is only going to show me all the forms that I created by myself. So if I click on not owned by me, is not owned by me is the same thing as shared with me, okay? I don't own them, but they were shared with me. So I'm just going to leave it as owned by anyone. Then you can also check last opened by me. Right now, that's how it's arranged, last opened by me. But if you want to arrange it alphabetical order, you can do that using this A to Z icon. So you can arrange it either by the one that was opened by you last, the one that was modified by you last, or you can simply arrange it by title, that means in alphabetical order. Then you can choose the way the forms are showing using this icon. So you can have the grid view, which is like this, or the list view. So the last icon is maybe you want to open a file from your drive or from your computer, or you want to upload a particular file. So you can do that by clicking on that file icon. So that's that about the interface of the Google Forms. So the next thing we're going to look at is, okay, so we're going to do some practicals now. So we're going to create a new form. We're going to add title, add questions, add sections, and create a quiz. So I'm moving fully into the practical now. So what I need you to do is you click on blank. Click on blank. So to create a new form, when you've logged into the Google Forms interface, either using forms.google.com or using your waffle icon. So I'm trying to say the steps again for those that are writing down. To create a new form, you click on blank. So I'm going to click on blank now. Then for those that are wondering, Google Forms does not currently have a mobile app. If you want to use it on your phone, you have to use it from your web browser. So you also type forms.google.com. Just that the interface will be slightly different. Okay, it's not going to be just the way it's showing here. So it's going to be slightly different, but it's almost the same thing. So now we have opened a new form. So currently now our form is showing untitled form. So we are going to give it a title. So I would like us to recreate something like the form we used to apply for this training. So I'm going to name my form. I'm going to name my form. So I'm going to rename this. I'm going to name it intro to tech application. So I'm just going to, once I rename it now, I'll just come here, this other untitled form too. So once I click it, it's going to change to intro to tech that I already typed here. So this particular place that we are on right now, this block, if you notice, is like a block or a box. Is called the title block or the title block box. So this title basically tells you about the form. So you can add a form description. So if I want to add a form description, it's not compulsory, but you should to explain your form further. So I'm going to click on fill this form. I'm just going to type a short description. Fill this form to apply for the training. So your description can be longer than this. You can write, a full paragraph. You can write more than one paragraph. But just to save time, I will just type something short. So you can also make it, for example, if I wanted to make it bold, I'm just going to highlight it, and then you see the bold. This B icon here is to make it bold, to make it this I is to make it italics, this U is to underline. If you want to insert a particular link in the description, maybe from the form I want them to go to the WhatsApp group, I will click on this icon here. So this icon is to insert a link. Then if I wanted to, maybe in my description I want to write something that requires numbers, so I will click on this numbered list or bulleted list. So you learn about all these features when they teach you Google Docs. But let's focus on creating the form. So once you are done with your title box, this is your title box. If you look at the right side, you see this um line of options that you can do. Okay, are you with me?
With
Yeah.
you.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
okay,
I'm with
okay,
you.
great. So the
Yes, ma'am.
first icon here, the plus icon, so you can add a question. This you can add a question. The next icon is you can import question, then you can add title. So let me just explain them one by one. So as we open this Google form now, by default, Google form already gave us, like, a question block. If you see my mouse, I'm just rounding the question block. So here, this untitled question. So it gave us like a question block to start, but you can also add your own using this plus icon. So if I click on this plus icon now, another one will appear. So let me go back here. Then this import questions. What it does is that, for example, I've created a form similar to this form that I'm creating now, and instead of me to start typing out all those questions over again, I know that the same set of questions, or maybe some of them that I want to ask here, are in another form that I created before. I'm just going to click on import questions. So for example now, if I click on import question, it's going to take me to all my forms that I created before. So I'm just going to look for a similar form. So let's say I will click on this form now. When I select it, okay, so for example now, these are the questions from that form. So I'll now select the questions that I feel I want to add to this form. So when I do that, I'll just click on import questions. But I don't want to import any questions for this class. I just want to show you how it's done. So if you do that, the questions will be imported. So I'm just going to close this now. So maybe in future you are creating a form that is similar to a form you've created before. You don't need to retype everything, just import the questions. So the next thing is add title and description. So this box I told you about is called the title box, right? So in case you wanted to add another one for some reason, if you notice, so if I click on this is another title box. So it doesn't have the question, the way the question looks like, it doesn't look like that. So this is another title box, but we don't want this. So I'm going to click on this delete icon. So back here, you can add a picture. So let's say you want to add a picture of your organization or whatever. You can click on add image. You can even add a video to your form. Maybe you want the people filling your form to watch a video to see how something is done, or to further describe a particular entity. You can do that. And then the next one is to add a section. So I'm going to explain, we're going to add section much later. But basically, a section is such that when you are filling a form, for those of us that are filled form, you notice some forms, once you just fill it, it's just like a one-page form. You fill from the beginning to the end, and then at the ending you see submit. But there are some forms, it looks like you're going from page to page. So when you fill the first page, you see a button that will click the next, and then you fill another page, then maybe you see another next before you submit. So those different pages are sections. So what happens is that that particular form that you filled, that you saw next, they were divided into sections. So, and to do that, what the form owner just did was that it used this button, the add section button. So is there anybody here that's filled a form like that, that had different sections? So you can just type yes if you fill the form like that.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, great. So now we're going to move into questions. So before we do that, I just want to show you all something. So for the questions on Google Forms, okay, so there are different types of questions you can ask using Google Forms. So we're just going to explain the important ones, or the most common ones that you will use. The first one is the short answer question. So in the short answer question, what happens is that you're going to ask something that does not require, a long answer or too many words. So for a question like your name or your email address, so that one is a short answer question. It does not require the person to write a paragraph, or an entire um sentence or something. So it's short. So that kind of question in Google Forms is the short answer question. Please, Bukola, please mute your mic. Thank you. Or admin, please, can you help us mute Bukola? Okay, thank you. So the next question is the paragraph. The next question type is the paragraph. So in the paragraph question type, you have the questions that are asked is something that requires a long answer. So what happens is that there are some applications you see, maybe you're applying for a scholarship or a training like this, and then they'll ask you, why do you want to apply for this training, or why do you think you deserve this scholarship? So at that point in time, the short answer space will not be enough. You need to use the paragraph so that the person can type out, maybe a paragraph, 250 words, 1,000 words, describing why they want to join the training, or why they want the scholarship, depending on the question on the form. So that's for the paragraph. The next one is your multiple choice, which is very common. It's just like your objective. You are given a question, and then you are given options, and then you can pick only one out of all the options. So the next is check boxes. So check boxes is just like your multiple choice question. The only difference in check boxes is that while in multiple choice questions you can only pick one option, in check boxes you can pick more than one. You can pick two, you can pick three, you can pick all, or you can choose to pick only one. So for example, you have a question that you are giving them options, and it's possible that the user's answer will be more than one. For example, you are asking, let's say I'm taking a survey of the different cities people have traveled to, and then I'll list all the 36 states in Nigeria, and then I'll be like, select the different states that you visited. So a person might have visited up to 10 states, 3 states, 2 states. So in that particular case, I'm going to pick check boxes. Okay, so that's for checkboxes. The next type of question that you can see in your Google form is what they call a drop down. So a drop down is something like multiple choice, but instead of the options being listed out for you to see, you see something like an arrow. And then when you click on that arrow, a list of options is going to appear. I think it happens most time when we are filling something that has to do with local governments. So you see local government of origin, and then when you click on it, all the local governments will just pop out. So they will not be showing on the form until you click on what they call that drop down arrow. So I don't know if there's anybody here that has seen a form like that. If you have, you can just indicate so that I know
I
you are
have seen.
familiar. Okay.
Even when
Yeah, we
checking
see the
for
one.
traits.
Okay, so that particular question, the way they created it, they used the drop down question. So we are going to do that. And then the last one that we are going to look at is the linear scale. So linear scale is when you are doing something like rating. So for example, let's say Golden Mall is trying to get feedback on their products. So you can say they can create a form and say from a scale of 1 to 5, how will you rate our Golden Mall meal? And then 5 for very good, and then 1 for very poor, 2 for poor, 3 for okay, 4 for good, and then you will now click on the one that you like. So we are going to create all these kinds of questions now. So I'm going to go back to my browser. So like I said, this is the title block, and then this is the question block or box. So one box holds one question, okay? So don't make the mistake of typing more than one. So like, what I mean is this entire box now, from here, 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 and this entire thing is for only one question. So don't make the mistake of typing two questions here. So if you want to add another question, either you click on this plus icon, or you move to the next question if you already have a box underneath. So I'm going to type my first question now. So for example, I'm doing this application now. I will ask for email, for example. So I'll just type email. So the email is, so if you notice, as I was typing it, if you look here, immediately Google Form already recognizes that is a short answer question, okay? So is he already selected the short answer for me, but just should in case I want to change it to maybe paragraph or something, all I need to do is click on this drop down. So if you notice, all the different kinds of questions that I explained are here: the short answer, the paragraph, the multiple choice, the check boxes, the drop down, the linear scale. You can even upload a file too, for example. Then these ones are a bit more advanced: the multiple choice grid, the checkbox, and then you even have date and time. For example, you want people to put in their date of birth, and you don't want them to type it. You want a calendar to show, and then they will select the date from the calendar. So you use the date question. So we're just going to leave the short answer. So I'm done with this first question. So I'll move on to the next question. So let's say I also want to get their names. So I'm going to type full name. Sorry. Okay. This is also a short answer question. So then I'm going to do something that is going to be multiple choice. So let's say gender, for example. I want to find out if they are male or female. So when I type gender, so if you notice, it's already on multiple choice. So I'll come here now and type male. Okay. These are the options now. We've left the question, and now we are now in the options. So this is the first option, male. If I want to add another option, I will come to the next one, click on it. So female. And let's say if I wanted another option, I can click on this. Or maybe I want them to, for example, if they went through the two genders and they don't find the one they want to click, and they want to click on something, like they want to type it out themselves, you see this add order. I'm going to click on this add order. So what's going to happen is, when the person is filling the form, when the person clicks on order, a space is going to open out for the person to type out the one they want. Okay. And then if you want to remove any option, you see this icon, this remove. So for example, I want to remove this mail. I'll just click on it and it will be deleted. So I'm just going to add it back now. Male, right? Then you can also move the options. For example, I want male to come before female. So if you look by the left hand side here, so when I move like this, my mouse is going to change to like a four directional arrows. So that's the move symbol. So I'm going to click on it and then move it up. So depending on what I want. So that's gender. So let's say I want to add another question. I'll click on the add question, and then I'm going to click on, so let's say for example, which of these are you interested in learning? Let's say I want to find out from the participants the course they're interested in learning. So for something like this, I would want to use a checkbox so that participants can click more than one, and Google already figured it out, so it's on checkboxes now. So I'm just going to list out 4 just to save time. So I'm going to say Google Drive. So this, I'm just creating an example. It can be more, so I'm just going to leave it at 4. So then I'm going to add another question. So this time, let's add a question that would require drop down. Okay, so I can ask, where do you live, for example, or what city are you in? So let's say I want to know the location of my applicants. What city are you in? So after typing it, so if you notice, Google gave me short answer, but that's not what I want. Okay, I said I wanted to create a drop box. I'm going to change this to Dropbox. So I'm going to list. So what it simply means is that I'm going to type out what the participants will see when they open the form, and then they'll click on it. So let's say I just want to type out only 3 cities. So it can be more. You can type out 100 if you like. So just to save time, we'll type out just 3. Let's say Port Harcourt. Okay. So, and then I'll click on another plus icon. So let's say if I want to do something concerning the linear scale. So let's say for this training, I want to know how well participants can use a laptop or a computer, because it's a beginner's training. So I want to know whether I have more beginners or I have more advanced users on the training, so that I'll know how to approach it. So I'm going to say, on a scale of 1 to 5, how proficient are you in using a computer? So when I do that, if you notice, Google has already indicated linear scale for me, so I'm just going to leave it. And then you can label it. So I'm going to say 5 is, or 1 is for beginner, So depending on what you are rating, and then I'm going to put 5 as expert. Okay. So let's say I wanted to add another question, so that I will show you another type of question. So which one have we not explored? Okay, so we've not explored the paragraph. So I'm going to ask, why do you want this? Why do you want to join this training? So if you notice, Google has already given me a paragraph. Okay, so the next question I'm going to add is, for example, I'm going to ask a question that is also multiple choice. So I'm going to do something like, are you interested in any of our upcoming trainings? Okay, so what I'm going to do now, so I'm going to click on the options. So I want to do yes, no, maybe. So they already suggested it for me. Yes, I'm just going to add all. So what I'm going to do, so I want to create another section, so that this section is going to be for registration. Then I'll have another small section. So when I click on this add section now, so I'm done with adding question. I want to create another section that's like another page. So what I'll do, I'll click on add section. So you can name the session, okay? So if you notice, there's like a demarcation, and then you're seeing section 2 of 2. So if I scroll up now, you see this is section 1 of 2, okay? So you can name the sections. I'm just going to name this section other trainings. I'm going to leave the description, and then I'll add a question to that section, and I'm going to call this question, which of our trainings are you interested in? So check boxes. I'm just going to list out like 3 trainings. So I'm going to do something like data analysis as the option. I will do data science, and then I'll do data engineering. Just so you can add more questions, but just for illustration purpose, I'm going to leave only one question. So I'm going to indicate something. Before I do that, let me just confirm. Are you still following me?
Yes, ma'am. Fine.
Okay.
Yes, we are following you. You
Yes,
are
we are
doing a
following
nice
you.
job.
Okay. Thank you very much. So
Well done,
um
ma.
I want to show you something that you can do with your forms. So right now, what happens is that if anybody that is filling this form, once they are done with this section, is going to go to this next section too, right? But let's say, what if I don't want everybody to see this section too? Maybe I want, for example, if you notice this question I asked, are you interested in any of our upcoming trainings? So let's say that it's only the people that click on yes or maybe that I want to see that next session, okay? And then maybe I want the people that click on no to see another section. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to add another section, for example, and then I'll click on, let me name it suggestions. So then I'll add a question like, for example, I want to add, why are you not interested. Or let me just make it more appealing. So can you tell us why you are not interested? So this is just an example, okay? So as this form is, so what is going to happen is that anybody filling this form, when they are done with section 1 and they click on next, you go to section 2. When they are done, it goes to section 3. So I don't want that. I want the people to go to different section based on an answer. So you can do that. You can create a form and it's not everybody that is going to see all the section on the form. So based on an answer, they would take you to a particular section. I've noticed it when you're applying for a job, for example. You might be applying, you see different options. You might be applying for maybe secretary, maybe you're applying for maybe ICT personnel and all that. So depending on what you're applying, when you click on that particular role you want, the questions that they will take you to will be related to that role that you picked. So how do you do it? For example, I want the user or whoever is filling this form to be directed to a section based on their answer, and the question that is going to direct them is this particular question: are you interested in any of our trainings? So here now, this question, I'm going to click on this question, and then underneath here, these three dots again, more options. So you see, go to section based on answer. Go to section based on answer. So when I click on that, so if you notice there are some things that popped up next to the answers, okay? So I want it that the person that clicks yes and maybe will go to section 2, which is to choose the course that they want. And then the person that clicks on no, or whoever clicks on no, to go to the suggestions section and then maybe give us 1 or 2 reasons why they don't want to attend the training. So for this yes now, I'm going to click on it. And then if you notice, I'm going to select go to section 2. So whatever happens is that whoever answers this question, we go to section 2. And then for no, the person should go to section 3. And then maybe just like yes, the person should go to section 2. So that's not all. So I also come here under section 1. Right now you have continue to next session. So what happens is, for example, let's say somebody does not answer this question. I still don't want them to see those other 2 sides. So I'll just do it such that anybody that does not answer that question should just go to section 3 or maybe submit the form. Then I'll also do that for section 2, that whoever finishes section 2 should submit the form, and then section 3 is the last section. So before we check out our form, there are some other things I want to show you. So if you notice in this question right now, underneath you see some icons. So here you can, this particular one next to the question, there's a picture icon. So you can add a picture to your question. Let's say you are trying to ask a question about something, you can put the picture of that particular thing just to make the viewers more familiar. You can duplicate the question. This icon is for duplicate. So for example, I want to ask for their email twice. So I'll just click on duplicate and it's going to appear again. You can delete a particular question. So if you don't want that question, you can delete it. So I'm just deleting this duplicate now. Then here you see what they call required. So there are some forms that you are filling. You see an asterisk on the question. What that simply means is that if you don't fill that particular question, you cannot submit it. Okay, you cannot submit it. So to do that, for example, maybe there's a field you want to make sure that nobody misses or nobody leaves blank for whatever reason, you make that question required. So right now, none of my questions are required. So if I feel there are some questions that I want to make sure that my users must fill, I will just come here and click on required. So once I do that, let's say I do that for name, an email. So if you notice, the email now has like an asterisk showing that it's required. Okay, so what happens is that nobody will be able to submit this form if they don't fill this email. Okay, now that I've filled my form, it's always good to um preview it, run it by yourself and know that okay, it's working. To do that, I'm going to click on this eye icon. So above the questions and everything, you see this eye icon. So it's preview. So when I click on that now, it's going to show as if I'm the one filling my form. Okay, so I'm seeing it. So I'm just going to fill it to make sure that everything I did worked. So for email now, I'm just going to write my email. So